Continuing with Leviticus 4:13. And if the whole congregation of Israel sin through ignorance, and the thing be hid from the eyes of the assembly, and they have done something against any of the commandments of the Lord concerning things which not be done, and have incurred guilt, when the sin which they have sinned is known, then the congregation shall offer a young bullock for the sin, and bring it before the tent of meeting. And the elders of the congregation shall lay their hands on the head of the bullock before the Lord, and the bullock shall be killed before the Lord. And the priest that is anointed shall bring of the bullock's blood to the tent of meeting. And the priest shall dip his finger in some of the blood, and sprinkle it 7 times before the Lord, before the veil. And he shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar, which is before the Lord, that is in the tent of the meeting, and shall pour out all the blood at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering, which is at the door of the tent of meeting. And he shall lift off all its fat and burn it on the altar. And he shall do with the bullock as he did with the bullock for a sin offering. So shall he do with this. And the priest shall make atonement for them, and it shall be forgiven them. And he shall carry the bullock outside the camp, and burn it as he burnt the first bullock. It is a sin offering for the congregation. When a ruler has sinned and done something through ignorance against any of the commandments of the Lord his God concerning things which should not be done, and has incurred guilt, or if his sin wherein he has sinned come to his knowledge, he shall bring his offering, a kid of the goats, a male without blemish, and he shall lay his hand upon the head of the goat, and kill it in the place where they kill the burnt offering before the Lord. It is a sin offering. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and shall pour out its blood at the bottom of the altar of burnt offering. And he shall burn all its fat upon the altar, as the fat of the sacrifices of the peace offering. And the priest shall make atonement for him concerning his sin, and it shall be forgiven him. If ever any one of the common people sin through ignorance by doing something against any one of the commandments of the Lord concerning things which ought not be done, and be guilty, or of his sin which he has sinned come to his knowledge, then he shall bring his offering, a kid of the goats, a female without blemish, for his sin which he has sinned. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering, and shall slay the sin offering in the place of the burnt offering. And the priest shall take of its blood with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and shall pour out all its blood at the bottom of the altar. And he shall take away all its fat, as the fat is taken away off the sacrifice of the peace offering. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar for a sweet savor to the Lord. And the priest shall make atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven him. And if he bring a lamb for a sin offering, and he shall bring it a female without blemish, and he shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering, and slay it for a sin offering in the place where they kill the burnt offering. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of the burnt offerings, and shall pour out all its blood on the bottom of the altar. And he shall take away all of its fat, as the fat of the lamb is taken away from the sacrifice of the peace offering. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar, upon the piers of the Lord. And the priest shall make atonement for his sin that he has committed, and it shall be forgiven him. And if a person sin and hear the voice of adjuration, and is a witness whether he has seen or known of it, if he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity. Or if a person touch any unclean thing, which it be carcass of an unclean beast, or carcass of unclean cattle, or the carcass of unclean creeping things, and if be hidden from him, so that he be unclean and guilty, or if he touch the uncleanness of man, whatever uncleanness it be with which a man shall be defiled, and it be hid from him, and he come to know of it, and be guilty, or if a person swear, pronouncing with his lips to do evil, or to do good, whatever it be that a man shall pronounce with an oath, and it be hid from him, whether he knows of it, then he shall be guilty of one of these. And it shall be, when he shall be guilty in one of these things, that he shall confess that he has sinned in that thing. And he shall bring his guilt offering to the Lord for his sin which he has sinned, a female from the flock, a lamb or a kid of the goats, for a sin offering. And the priest shall make atonement for him concerning his sin. And if he be not able to bring a lamb, then he shall bring for his trespass for which he has committed 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons to the Lord, one for a sin offering and the other for a burnt offering. And he shall bring them to the priest, who shall offer that which is for the sin offering first, and wring off its head from its neck, but shall not divide it asunder. And he shall sprinkle of the blood of the sin offering upon the side of the altar, and the rest of the blood shall be wrung out at the bottom of the altar. It is a sin offering. And he shall offer the second for a burnt offering, according to the prescribed order. And the priest shall make atonement for him, for his sin which he has sinned, and it shall be forgiven him. But if he be not able to bring the 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, then he that sinned shall bring for his offering the 10th part of an ephah of fine flour for a sin offering. He shall put no oil upon it, neither shall he put any frankincense upon it, for it is a sin offering. Then shall he bring it to the priest, and the priest shall take his handful of it, the moral part of it, and burn it on the altar upon the pyres of the Lord. It is a sin offering. And the priest shall make atonement for him in regard to his sin, that he has sinned in one of these, and it shall be forgiven him, and it shall be the priest's, like the meal offering. And the Lord spoke to Moshe, saying, if a person commit a trespass, and the sin through ignorance in the holy things of the Lord, then he shall bring for his guilt to the Lord a ram without blemish out of the flocks, by value 2 silver shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary, for a guilt offering. And he shall make amends for the wrong that he has done in the holy thing, and shall add the 5th part to it, and give it to the priest. And the priest shall make atonement for him with the ram of the guilt offering, and it shall be forgiven him. And if a person sin and commit any of these things which are forbidden to be done by the commandments of the Lord, though he know it not, yet he is guilty, and shall bear his iniquity. And he shall bring a ram without blemish out of the flock, according to the valuation for a guilt offering, to the priest. And the priest shall make atonement for him concerning his ignorance, wherein he erred and knew it not, and it shall be forgiven him. It is a guilt offering. He has certainly trespassed against the Lord. And the Lord spoke to Moshe, saying, if a person sin and commit a trespass against the Lord, and lied to his neighbor, in which was delivered him to keep, or in a loan, or in a thing taken away by violence, or have wronged his neighbor, or have found that which was lost, and have lied concerning it, and have sworn falsely in any of all these things that a man does, sinning in that, then it shall be, because he has sinned and is guilty, that he shall restore that which he took violently away, or the thing which he has deceitfully acquired, or that which was delivered him to keep, or the lost thing which he found, or all that about which he has sworn falsely. He shall even restore it in the principal, and shall add the 5th part more to it, and give it to him whom it belongs, in the day of his trespass offering. And he shall bring his guilt offering to the Lord, a ram without blemish out of the flock, according to the value of guilt offering, to the priest. And the priest shall make atonement for him before the Lord, and it shall be forgiven him for anything of all that he has done, wherein to incur guilt. That's Leviticus 5, or up to 6.1.